How about the announcement? How apropos! Today it was announced the name for Batman vs Superman. It's going to be Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Take it away, Ian.
No, there's no justice here. No one wins anything. No, I mean, it's just partially because of my current mood, partially because we go through this shit all the fucking time. It's hard for me to get worked up. I mean, the title is, I don't know, campy. I mean, it clearly lays out the fact that this is no longer really a sequel to Man of Steel.
Oh no,
but
it's not even close.
This is a prequel to the hastily rushed Justice League movie that we've already talked about. Well, those airplanes really do sound special.
Oh, look at the window open.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, I don't feel anything anymore. I've been broken and destroyed. And
what did you think of the Affleck in the suit? That picture.
The picture was okay. I mean, it was fine. I mean, dude, here's the thing. Okay. I've already decided in my head I don't give a shit. I mean, that's the thing. Once you distance yourself from it, it's so easy to look at it and be like, well, whatever. That's okay. I mean, why do you care? Are you still holding out hope that this might be something you're gonna go and see? What the fuck does it even matter anymore?
I'm gonna see it just because.
Why?
Because there's never been a movie with Batman and Superman in the same live action. I think that's a cool idea. I think it won't be a train wreck, probably. It probably will be a train wreck, but hey, that's part of the fun. It's going to be an event.
It can be, an event. An event's all right.
For the podcast,
like shitting your pants.
2 years ago,
an event.
I mean, 2 years from now, in the podcast, we can discuss it.
It'll be a one-sided.
Just like you promising to play DuckTales HD for the podcast, which you never did. Well, get on people for that. You're going to see this. Promise, you're going to see this 2 years from now.
Get your torches.
Why is it going to take 2 years to make this movie? That's what I don't understand. Are they afraid of going up against Avengers next year? Probably. That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
They're afraid to go up against... It shouldn't take 2 years to do this movie. They start filming today. Yeah, maybe they need more than a year and a couple months. They have it come out in July. You can be able to do the effects if you start now, but whatever. I just think it's weird that they pushed out the release date of Man of Steel almost a full year, like 7-8 months originally, and now this is pushed out another year. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I saw a picture of Gal Gadot. They actually, I guess, saw her in pictures either on set or in as not as Wonder Woman. But she did not look big at all. So if she went to the gym, maybe it was a tone up, but she does not have the muscle mass for Wonder Woman, in my opinion. People might say, well, she's magical. She doesn't need it to be strong. Yeah, but in the comics, she's big. She's built.
She's an Amazon. I mean, she's not supposed to be small or tiny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this concludes our weather report on how shitty this movie is shaping up.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
But it doesn't because...
We're just getting started.
Maybe they're pushing it back. Maybe they're pushing it 2 years because it's going to take that long for David Goyer to get his fucking foot out of his goddamn mouth. So, Goyer's the guy who's kind of like working on writing with Zack Snyder on this movie.
And he worked on the first two Batman movies. So.
Yeah. And I think he's going to be on the Justice League movie as well. And he came out talking about She-Hulk and basically suggested that she should be called Slut Hulk, insinuated that she was only there as something for the Incredible Hulk to fuck. All sorts of other really classy things. She's still pretty chunky. She's like China from the WWE, he says about She-Hulk. And the thing is like, so that's disgusting because it's gross and it doesn't need any explanation as to why that's gross. It's also really kind of upsetting because he's supposed to be the quote-unquote comic guru. He's supposed to be the guy in the know. And
well, he's the guy writing your story and laying out your framework for your superhero stories. Yeah.
And he doesn't know anything about She-Hulk, apparently. Like, she's the cousin of Bruce Banner?
Yeah, he doesn't understand that they didn't introduce her just so Hulk can have a girlfriend. That's not what happened there. Yeah. Even I know. I'm not a big I never really followed She-Hulk that much, but even I knew. Yeah, it's the cousin. That's like the first thing you know about She-Hulk.
Yeah, she's always. I mean, she's gone through story arcs.
I know that she's a lawyer. I know that she's sort of carefree. She kind of acts like California carefree. That's her character.
Yeah, she was I mean, her the arcs that do her best are the smart, empowered woman arcs. Who then she goes out and kicks ass
she's
if she needs
she's a
to.
liberated woman. She's
Yeah.
confident with herself and who she is and her sexuality and her strength and everything else. And
Yeah, and I don't know, it's some of her arcs have been more campy and some of them have been more serious, but it just shows an incredible lack of knowledge on a character that, well, granted, is not a mainstream character. Someone who is writing a comic book movie should probably know this stuff.
well, this is where it gets even scarier because he also commented on Martian Manhunter as well. Did you see those comments?
No, I did not.
Oh boy. He basically, I'm going to paraphrase it on the article in front. He basically saw the character as needing to be revamped or reworked to fit with the modern audience, and basically said the name is silly. It should be called just Manhunter, not Martian Manhunter. So this is a guy who's going to be writing probably for that character as part of the Justice League. So I'm not even a Martian Manhunter fan, but I'm pissed that you don't want a guy like that writing for anyone for your movie. You don't.
Oh my god,
That's just disrespect to begin with.
him and Snyder are so fucking perfect for each other. I just want them to fuck off into oblivion, and so no one has to deal with them ever again. It's really no. I mean, I'm joking, but it's true. They are so perfect in terms of their inability to comprehend what a female character would be like, their inability to really grasp what it is that superhero fans want. I know that I'm perhaps not in the majority in hating Man of Steel, but I don't know how much longer Zack Snyder can keep this ruse up before people finally turn on him.
He doesn't know how to direct actors or with any subtlety.
Right.
I said that with Watchmen, and that's why Watchmen I thought was he took the I know you haven't read it yet, but he took excellent material and made it an above average movie. And it takes real skill to do that, to take excellent source material and direct it into something that's above average instead of something that's great.
Right.
You know, usually it should be great if it's excellent material.
Yeah, so these are not...
Well, here's what he said. He was on a
Okay.
podcast. This is what he said about if you want to quote him about Martian Manhunter, because this, to me, he can say what he wants about She-Hulk. It shows his insensitivity, but this is more important because he'll be writing this character if it's going to appear in the movie. He said, "How many people in the audience have heard of Martian Manhunter?" After some light applause and cheers, he added, "How many people that raised their hands have ever been laid?" That's a nice stereotype that I'm sure went over fine with the audience, even as a joke. Do you want him writing your superhero
No,
films?
I don't want him anywhere. I mean, send him off to an island.
He then said, well, he has been rebooted, speaking of Martian Manhunter, but he's a mainstay in the Justice League. He can't be freaking called the Martian Manhunter because that's goofy. He can be called Manhunter. The whole deal with Martian Manhunter is he's an alien living amongst us. So he comes down to Earth and decides, unlike Superman who already exists in the world now, that he's just going to be a homicide detective. So instead of using superpowers and mind reading and like, oh, I could figure out if the president's lying or whatever, he just decides to disguise himself as a human homicide detective. Dare to dream! So he's just disrespecting the character that he's going to be writing for. He's belittling this character that's been around for a long, long time and has been a core Justice League member for, 45, 50 years? Is it before Silver Age, Martian Manhunter? I don't know, but at least the 60s he's been around. I know that, not being a big Martian Manhunter guy. But, besides the She-Hulk stuff where he just thinks it was a fantasy designed and just some sort of slut Hulk, just an ass. And by the way, this is what David Goyer has written to get to this point, some of the stuff. Death Warrant, which I like Van Damme, but that's not exactly the best movie example.
No.
That's not even one of the better Van Damme movies, actually.
No,
the one in the prison.
I'm a big Van Damme fan, so...
He wrote the direct-to-video, was it direct-to-video? The Crow City of Angels. He did write Dark City, I'll give him that. That's at least an original one. He wrote Blade. He wrote Blade 2, which was terrible. And he wrote Blade Trinity, which was more terrible. He also wrote... He wrote the Dark Knight, or he did the story to the Dark Knight. He didn't actually write it. The story is just that's just a basic framework.
Right.
You get credit for that, and then someone actually writes it. But he does have screenplay credit on Batman Begins. And then here we go. This is he wrote for Call of Duty Black Ops. He wrote Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, which was abysmal. And then he also did Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and he did the screenplay for Man of Steel. Maybe that's why Superman was not Superman in that movie, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, at what point in writing a story for a superhero movie do you get to call something too ridiculous for a superhero movie? Isn't Superman basically no one, please kill me. I know he's not a Martian. A Martian from space hiding amongst people? Like, I mean, what? I mean, he just doesn't like the name. I mean, where do you pick and choose in the world of superheroes? What's more ridiculous than the other? Like, I don't get it. You're not going to make this a serious drama piece that people are going to,
Well, it just shows the guy's arrogance. That he's in Hollywood. He's written some of these movies, Blade 2, freaking Ghost Rider, Spirits of Vengeance. I don't know how you do those movies and all of a sudden you get tapped to do this. Again, you're in the know. You have friends. I guess you get the... honestly, if give me the JLA script then. Even though I don't know that much about Martian Manhunter, I'll do a better job than him, who actually doesn't... I'll at least research the character, find out the good stuff about him, and appreciate why people like him versus trashing a character you're going to be writing about. Well, that's ridiculous.
Apparently for DC to take notice of you, you need to be a misogynistic scumbag. So maybe try working on that, and then, you can just shed that after you get the JLA script in your hands. Fucking horseshit. Okay, yeah, great. That's fun.